My name is Merve. Today we will learn angles. Adjacent angle, vertical angle, supplementary angle and complementary angle. You have learned about angles of different sizes. Right angle, acute angle, obtuse angle and straight angle. Let's remember these terms quickly. Right angle. A right angle is an angle of exactly 90 degrees. Acute angle. The acute angle is less than 90 degrees. Obtuse angle. The obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Straight angle. A straight angle is exactly 180 degrees. These terms all describe a single angle, but there are also terms that describe pairs of angles. These are adjacent angle, vertical angle, supplementary angle, and complementary angle. Firstly, we will start adjacent angle. If two angles share a common vertex and ray, then they are called adjacent angle. Here, these two angles, let's show it with red. These two angles share one ray and one vertex together. So, we can say that they are next door neighbor. In geometry, we call it adjacent angle. Let's continue with GeoGebra activity. Here, the green and the blue angles are adjacent angle because they have a common vertex A. The point A is common vertex for these two angles, green and blue angles. And the side AC here is common side for the angles. So they are adjacent angle. The yellow angle is the biggest angle here and it is the sum of two adjacent angles. Let's continue with the example. Let's show the adjacent angles in the picture. The angle ABC and the angle CBD. These two angles are adjacent because they have a common vertex B and they have a common ray BC. And ABC again and ABE. These two angles are also adjacent angle because they have a common vertex B and they have a common ray AB. And ABE here and EBD, these are also adjacent. Lastly, EBD here and DBC here. These two are also adjacent angle. Vertical angle. In a pair of intersecting lines, the angles which are opposite to each other form a pair of vertically opposite angles. They are called as vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent. Let's show the vertical angles in the figure. Here and here, these two yellow angles are vertical angles. They have to be congruent. Let's show the other. This blue angle and these two blue angles are also vertical angles. Let's show it in GeoGebra. Here we have two intersecting lines, AB and CD. And here the purple angles are vertically opposite to each other. So they are vertical angles and they have to be congruent. They have to be equal. Let's see it if they are equal or not. When I change the degree of the angle AED to 100 about 100, then CEB, the angle CEB equals to 100 because they have to be congruent. Okay, let's continue. In the example, let's draw vertical angles. Angle CEB here and angle AED. These two yellow angles are vertical angles. They are opposite to each other and they are congruent. Let's show the other. BED and CEA. These two red angles are also vertical angles, so they are congruent. Supplementary angle. If the sum of two angles is 180 degrees, then they are said to be supplementary angles. We already know that a straight angle is 180 degrees. It's like a straight angle. And we have two angles here, one here and the other here. These two angles, the sum of these two angles equals to 180 degrees. So they are supplementary angles. But don't forget that they don't have to be next to each other. Let's show it. Here we have two supplementary angles, ABC and FED. These two angles are supplementary angles because their sum is 180 degrees. But they don't next to each other, you can see, they don't have to be. When I change the degrees of the angle ABC to 100, the other angle DEF should be 80 degrees because their sum cannot change. Their sum should be 180. You can see that one of the angles should be obtuse angle. For example, when I make it acute, make the angle ABC acute, then the other angle should be obtuse angle. Just one thing, if it is 90 degrees, the other should be 90 degrees, so there will both of them will be 90 degrees right angles. Okay, let's continue. Supplementary angles. Examples. The important thing is the sum of two supplementary angles equals to 180 degrees. Let's find some supplementary angles here. AED and DEB. These two angles are supplementary angles because you can see that AB is a line. Okay, here is 180 degrees. Let's show one more. For example, CEA and AED. These two are also supplementary angles. Let's do the example. Two intersecting line segments NM and OP are given. The measurement of the angle NRP equals to 45 degrees. Find the other angles. Let's find. But firstly, let's show vertical angles. Here 45 and here ORM angle vertically opposite to this angle. So they are vertical angles and they are congruent. So it has to be 45 degrees. Okay, how can we find the other angles? We know that the angle NRP and angle ORN are supplementary angles, these two. Okay, so their sum should equal to 180. So we can find the unknown angle by using the knowledge 45 degree. By subtraction, of course, the measurement of the angle ORN equals to 135 degrees. And we know that we have another vertical angle here. If it is 135, then it should be also 135 degrees. Okay, we found all angles. Why vertical angles are congruent? CEB and AED angles are vertical angles. You can see here and here they are vertical. So, the theorem says that they are congruent. We know that these two angles are supplementary, CEB and VED. Here and here are supplementary angles. So their sum should be 180 degrees. And we also know that, let's change the color. The angle BED here again and the angle VEA here, the blue ones, are supplementary angles. So their sum should be again 180. You can see that A plus C equals to C plus B, isn't it? So we know that C is the same for both of them. And we can see that now A equals to B. So if two angles are vertical, then they are congruent. Complementary angle. If the sum of two angles is 90 degrees, then they are said to be complementary angles. Here is a right angle, so 90 degrees. So these two angles are complementary angles because their sum equals to 90 degrees. But be careful that they don't have to be next to each other. Let's look at the activity. Here we have two angles and their sum equals to 90 degrees. So they are complementary angles. Let's see it. For example, if I change the measure of the angle ABC to 40 degrees. Okay, 42 degrees. Then the other angle should be 48 degrees because I want the sum of these two angles equals to 90 degrees. It cannot change. So you can see that they are all acute angles. They can't be obtuse angle or right angle because their sum cannot be bigger than 90 degrees. In the example, let's show the complementary angles. If BAC and EDF are complementary angles here and here, then their sum should be equal to 90 degrees. And in the other example, we have a right angle here, and so it shows that their sum should be equal to 90 degrees, so they are complementary. In the example 2, ray BJ are perpendicular to the ray BL, and the measurement of the angle JBK equals to 55 degrees. What is the measure of the angle KBL? We know that it's a 90 degrees. It's a right angle because they are perpendicular. So, if here is 55, then we can find the unknown angle from our complementary angle knowledge. Their sum should be 90 degrees and we can find the unknown angle by subtraction, and it is 35 degrees. The non-routine problem. A set square are used to determine the angle measurement if it is right or to draw a right angle. If two angles share a common vertex and ray, then they are called adjacent angles. The red set square is an isosceles triangle and the yellow set square is a scalene triangle with one interior angle is 30 degrees. Some shapes will be created by meeting the following conditions. One side and at least one vertex will coincide. There will not be any space between the sides. When the shapes were created, find all possibilities for the sum of the two adjacent angles. We know that if the triangle is isosceles triangle, then they are equal. Let's change the color. They are equal, so the angles are also equal. And we know that the sum of the interior angle of a triangle equals to 180. So there should be 45 degrees. And let's find the unknown angle here. Their interior angles should be 180. So here is 90 plus 30 and then it should be 60 degrees. And let's create shapes with these set squares. Here we can do such shape. Here are adjacent angles, a common vertex and a common ray. And we know the angle here, 45. So let's add them. 30 plus 45 equals to 75. And here are adjacent angles with the common vertex and ray. And let's find the angle measurement. Here is 60 degree and here is 45 degree. And 60 plus 45 equals to 105. Here are adjacent angles, 90 degree and 45 degree. And a common vertex and ray. 90 plus 45 equals to 135. Here we know that it is 60 degrees. And our adjacent angles 90 degree and 60 degrees because they have a common vertex and common ray. So 90 plus 60 equals to 150. Here 30 and 90 are adjacent angles and 90 plus 30 equals to 120. Lastly, we have an adjacent angle pair here. They have a common vertex and common ray. 90 plus 90. equals to 180. That's all. Thanks for watching.